Hey everybody, it's Yolanda here from Don't Get It Twisted Crochet, and today I wanted to come and do a quick demonstration on how to use the Clover pom-pom maker. And so on a recent yarn haul or craft haul that I picked up this Clover pom-pom maker. It's actually a 2-pack, so you get the smaller and the larger one here. And they actually have one that's a little bit smaller than this one that I'm thinking about getting as well. Now, I don't make a lot of pom-poms, and so I really didn't have a need for a pom-pom maker. Prior to getting this pom-pom maker, I used to make my pom-poms, I guess you can say the do-it-yourself way, where you use like an old envelope or piece of cardboard and you just kind of keep wrapping the yarn around that, and then you cut it and then kind of sew it so that it doesn't come apart. If you search YouTube on how to make pom-poms, you'll find quite a few people doing videos on how to do it using that method. But the reason I ended up getting the Clover pom-pom maker is because there's a project coming up that I want to do, and it's going to require me to make quite a few pom-poms, and so I wanted to see if using the pom-pom maker would, you know, kind of make that process a little less tedious. And so I got these from Michael's. They retail for about $8. I had a 50% off coupon, so got them for $4 for the two. And so the back of the package actually does have instructions on it. But for this demonstration, I'm going to be using the smaller one here. So what you need is, of course, the pom-pom maker. And this little contraption, it does come apart. It's a little two-piece contraption here, but when you're initially using it, you do use it as one piece. So need the pom-pom maker, some yarn. For this demonstration, I'm going to be using my favorite yarn, Caron Simply Soft, which is an acrylic yarn. It's a number 4. So just a regular worsted weight yarn, but any worsted weight yarn will do for the demonstration. So I'll be using that. So you need the yarn, pom-pom maker, and last but not least, some scissors. So that's what you need to make a pom-pom with the Clover pom-pom maker. And so basically what you want to do is you want to take your pom-pom maker here, and so it has these little two like half moon type things. So you just want to open up one side. If it's closed like this, you'll see like two little levers. They are separate, but you want to pull up 2 of them. And then you kind of just want to take your yarn here and just start wrapping it around the 2 levers. And so you want to wrap it in a way that is covering that plastic there. So you don't want to really have any gaps in the yarn, because any type of gaps, like if it's not fully covered, what's going to happen is your pom-pom is just going to come out a little wimpy. So to make a full, nice, round pom-pom, you just want to make sure that you're covering that completely. And so I'm doing about 2 or 3 layers across the top there, just to kind of make sure that I am fully covering. So as you can see, like, you won't see any of the plastic. It should just be all yarn across the top. Same thing on the sides. Don't really want to see any gaps. Just kind of want it to be all yarn there. And so you just want to kind of keep wrapping that. Just keep wrapping all the way around, or like I said, just keep covering up those levers there. And so once you get to the end here, what you want to do, again, making sure that it's fully covered, you can then close this. And so you'll just close that side and it'll look like that. So you got the yarn here wrapped on the other side, and then what you want to do, you want to open up the other side. And so when you open up the other side, it's going to just be like that, and then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now you're not going to cut this yarn to start wrapping on the other side. You just want to pull it across and then just kind of start wrapping same way. So no cutting of the yarn yet. You just want to pull it across and then start wrapping on the other side. And you kind of want to do the same thing there, making sure that you're fully covering the plastic. So again, I'm doing 2 or 3 layers, and it doesn't have to be like really neat, because you're gonna shape the pom-pom yourself after you cut it. But you do, like I said, you don't want to have any gaps, so you do want to make sure that you're covering that. So again, you're just wrapping, making sure that you don't have any gaps, that it is fully covered, and you want to wrap till you get all the way to the end there, and wrap it again. If you got to go back to make sure, that's not a problem. Like I said, you just don't want any gaps. And so wrapping, and I'm almost to the end here so you can see it. And so once you do get to the end, you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to close it on the other side. And so this is what you have when both sides are fully covered. So you have the little lever, and then it's just covered both sides with yarn. And so now you do want to just cut that yarn off there. And so again, that's what you have there. Now what you want to do is you want to take your scissors and you just want to go up the middle here and start cutting. Just start cutting down the middle. And so when you do that, what you get, see, so now you kind of have the little fuzzies there, but not covering the middle. And so then you want, of course, want to turn it over, and you want to do the same thing on this side. Just cut down the middle. And it's, like I said, just going to create the little fuzzies on the two sides when you're cutting down the middle. And so just cut it down the middle there. And then, so that's, after you've cut down the middle, that's what you have, two little fuzzies. And so, oh, you want to make sure that stays together. And now what you need to do here is you want to take your yarn and you want to kind of thread it down the middle here, because this is what's going to hold your pom-pom together. So you want to take the yarn and kind of see how I inserted it here, and then you're just going to tie that into a nice little knot, because again, this is what's holding your pom-pom together. So you want to tie it in a nice, pull it pretty tight, because again, like I said, that's what's holding it together, to make sure that your pom-pom, because you'll have a few stragglies that come out, but this is what's kind of holding it completely together. So pull that pretty tight, and then after you make your little knot there, you can just cut those ends off as well. And so now, after you've tied a little knot there in it, now you can lift up these levers. So it does that, and then lift it up on this side. So you have that, and then you want to pull it apart. So when you pull it apart, you have that, and then you're just going to pull your pom-pom off of it. So there's my pom-pom, and like I said, you will have a few stragglies, but you don't want to be able to pull it apart. I then take it and just roll it in my hand. So see, just roll it there in my hand, kind of shape it a little bit. Like I said, you may have a few stragglies that come out of it, but it shouldn't be a lot of stragglies coming out. And so, and then you can take your scissors now and kind of shape this however you want to. Like if you have a whole lot of long pieces, you can kind of, now I don't get real scissor happy, because I tend to cut, and honey, I'll be done cut this little thing all to pieces, and it won't be nothing left. But yeah, so, and then, like I said, you can roll it in your hand some more, kind of shape it however you need to get it, you know, to have the shape that you want. But that's pretty much it with the pom-pom maker. That's pretty much all you're going to do. And then I just take mine, you put it back together, and get ready to do your next one. And so here are a couple of other ones that I did make. So see here, I have a full pink one that I made, and then here I have one where I did two colors with the pink and the blue. And basically for that, you're wrapping both colors around the pom-pom maker at the same time. But yeah, so that's pretty much it with the Clover pom-pom maker. Not hard to use at all. Again, like I said, you can kind of shape the pom-poms however you want. This one, you can tell with the pink one, I use a bit more yarn, so it came out a little bit more fuller than these two. But yeah, That's not hard at all. So that's how you use your Clover pom-pom maker. Be sure to leave some comments below if you have questions, comments, anything like that. Any tips if you do use the Clover pom-pom maker that you want to share. Be sure to leave those comments below. And as always, remember, don't get it twisted. Get it crocheted.